Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. Another Wolves news update video today regarding some transfer news with Munetsi and a Rangers defender and some others, and about Kalajdzic, which is a little interesting update with him. Now, that's actually where I want to start. It's God, what a story this Sasa Kalajdzic time has been as a employee of Wolverhampton Wanderers. We know he's been riddled with injuries. He signed a massive deal when he joined, a 5-year deal. His contract actually runs out not this summer, next summer. And as we know, he's currently on loan at Lask in the Austrian league, and he did make an appearance, didn't he? Come off the bench for Wolves right at the beginning of this season in the League Cup when we beat West Ham 3-2, caused carnage up front, and he went to Lask. It didn't start off too well for him, but recently he's actually seems to have got back to full fitness over there. And I'm not claiming that the Austrian league that Lask play in is any high quality, but he's scoring goals. He's actually got 5 goals in his last 5 appearances, which is a great little return. It's nice to see. And he actually scored from the halfway line. That is incredible. What a finish. Powered it top corner from the halfway line. And fair play to him. He got two goals and an assist last time out, where he did score that goal from the halfway line in a 5-1 win away at Hartberg for Lask. So, yeah, he's playing more minutes. Is he someone? Should we? It's an interesting one, this, because I can't see us getting any money for him at all if we did want to sell him in the summer. He's a risk because his injury history. I'll just get up on the screen now. His injury record's horrendous. Obviously, he's had 2 ACL injuries in his time at Wolves. The second one when he was out on loan. The first one when I think he was making his debut, wasn't he, for Wolves, and he went down injured. And it's risky to keep him, but if they do decide to keep him next season, Kalajdzic, for the Championship, he could potentially be the Tolu replacement. Similar sort of profile to Tolu. Obviously, we know Rokodare is most likely walking out the door, especially after recent events. And I'm not saying he'll be a starting striker for Wolves next season, but to have someone as backup like him, and if he can stay fit, he will definitely score goals in the Championship. He had a great record before we signed him in terms of goals, so that's why we'll sign him. It was, in hindsight, it was a terrible decision to sign him because he had previous injuries before he even joined us, and then of course he's been unlucky, but he's a very injury-prone player. But fair play to Kalajdzic. He's definitely one to consider, and I'm still of the feeling he will be a Wolves player next season. I really do think they might keep him and just let him run out his contract, unless someone offers decent money. But again, because of his injury history, I can't see it. And yeah, I hope he is a Wolves player next season. And fair play to him. It's actually good to see, because in the interviews you see of him when he signed and behind the scenes stuff, he seems like the nicest bloke ever, and he's just been so cruelly riddled with injuries. So, but of course, he's actually been called up for the Austrian national team, and he might go to the World Cup. So, although he's had this terrible time of it, he's hitting form at the right time, and he actually may represent his country at a World Cup. And of course, on this channel, I did a video of the top 10 worst signings of the Fosun era, and I actually had Kalajdzic in that top 10. I think it was 9 or 8. But that weren't on his ability. It was the fact that we'd spent all that money on him and he's had loads of injuries. So, yeah, if he comes back and starts banging in the goals, it will fall out of my top 10 worst signings of the Fosun era. But there we go. Good luck, Kalajdzic, and I hope we see you in a Wolves shirt next season. I thought I'd update that one on his loan over at Lask. Now, bit of transfer news. Wolves allegedly are linked with James Tavernier from Rangers. He's a right back, and he will become a free agent this summer after deciding to leave Rangers. He's been there since 2015. He joined them from Wigan Athletic at the time. He's made a whopping 536 appearances for the club, but won't make any more now because obviously he's confirmed he's departing. He played for Newcastle, didn't he, back in the day, a few times. He scored 144 goals that's mad, isn't it? What a mad return for a right back. Again, not the greatest level, but there's interest building. We're among those who are monitoring him, with other teams keen as well. Tottenham, apparently, if they were to go down, are also monitoring Tavernier to get him on a free transfer. I mean, he's 34. It's experience. We probably do need a right back unless Pedro Lima will be that man next season. But you would assume Jackson Chachua, he might stick around because nobody will want him, but you would assume Edwards would probably look to move him on. So an experienced player in Tavernier, a free transfer, could be happening. Keep your eye on it. It's not the strongest source it come from. I believe it come from, was it Team Talk? So, but yeah, just keep your eye on that. James Tavernier, bit of a Rangers cult hero, coming towards the end of his career, but a good experienced option as a free transfer, and he knows where the back of the net is, even from that right back position, so keep an eye on that one. Also, a little loose link to a Stoke player. Again, this one, if it is true, it's a bit unlikely because he has been linked with other clubs as well. I think Coventry are heavily linked with this player. It's Millian Manhoef. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's Dutch, I believe. And yeah, it's Coventry, and I believe Ajax. Yeah, Ajax really want him as well. So he's 24 and he's pretty tasty in that league for Stoke. And yeah, in February 2024, he signed from Vitesse Arnhem on a 3.5-year contract of 3.4 million. And yeah, he's made 99 appearances for Stoke and he's got 18 goals and 10 assists. So we're going to be linked with so many players like this that have had a decent championship campaign and know the league well. But again, I reiterate, he's more likely, I think, to go to Coventry or Ajax. Probably Ajax with him being Dutch. Yeah, Millian Manhoef. Just thought I'd give it a mention just in case something does progress with that one. Now, the biggest story that's actually dropped a few hours before I'm recording this video is about Marshall Munetsi. Now, the last we'd heard, I actually did a news update video the other day on this, is that Paris FC and Munetsi himself really want to make that loan permanent. He wants to stay at Paris FC and he doesn't want to return to Wolves. But now it's being reported that Nottingham Forest and Vitor Pereira, of course, want Marshall Manetsi next season. So honestly, this is actually crazy. They're actually making an agreement in principle. Apparently, they're close to making an agreement in principle for this. It is mental. I mean, Vitor Pereira, look, he's done okay at Forest. He looks like he's going to keep him up. They're doing well in Europe, but is he going to do to Forest what he did to us and just butcher them with poor signings? We signed Manetsi for £15 million in January 2025. He's still got 2 years left on his Wolves contract. He did sign a 3.5-year deal when we did sign him. And look, he did okay when he first come in, didn't he? Under Vitor Pereira. Vitor Pereira absolutely loved him. The highlight of his Wolves career was probably in that 6-game winning run because Cunha at the time was absent and it was obviously Manetsi, Bellegarde and Strand Larsen up front for the majority of that run. And he's, you know, he put in some important performances, but at the beginning of this season, it didn't go to plan, did it at all? He wasn't as good. He had a lot of poor performances, despite putting in good effort. He always put in 100% Manetsi. People called him Run Netsi, didn't they? But his quality on the ball was severely lacking. Vitor did get the best out of him, but I can't imagine if the Nottingham Forest fans have looked into Manetsi of how he has been for Wolves, particularly the first half of this season. I'm not sure they'd be too happy with this one. But if they offer anything near to that £15 million mark, or even around 10 million, I believe Wolves will sell him in a heartbeat. You know, I'm on record in saying that I think he'd be really good in the Championship for Wolves. I think he'd be good at that level just because of his physicality and his work rate. But you can't turn down this sort of fee. And of course, his relationship, particularly with the Wolves fans, is not great, because I did mention in my last video I spoke about Manetsi, is that he got a lot of abuse on social media when he was leaving, and which I thought was quite undeserved because, as I said, he always applied himself really well. So yeah, Vitor Pereira and Manetsi may reunite at Nottingham Forest, but I find that story quite shocking. You'd think Forest would, no disrespect to Manetsi, but you'd think they'd aim higher than a Manetsi type player if they wanted to kick on once they survive. But yeah, there we go. That's the news roundup today. Obviously a couple of loose links in there, but the Manetsi story is a bit baffling. And of course, Kalajdzic, that's an interesting one to keep an eye on, whether he will be a Wolves player next season now his form has picked up. But please like the video, everyone. Really does help the channel. Please subscribe. I'm so close to 12,000 now. Thank you for those who have subscribed recently, and thank you for all the nice comments on my last video too. And of course, yeah, comment your thoughts down below on these stories and what you think about what was discussed in this video. Have a great week, and I'll catch you next video. Ta.